120'yi geçtik başkanım, uygun görürseniz.
Tamam. Sayın Bakanım, çok değerli katılımcılar.
Mr. Minister, distinguished participants, members of the board, distinguished chairs and presidents of business councils, I would like to greet you all cordially on behalf of myself and on behalf of DEİK as we come closer to the Eid, the Ramadan Eid. We celebrated 19th of May yesterday. It is it's the festival of the youth, and we would like to once again commemorate our heroes, all our martyrs, as well as Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, which symbolizes the War of Independence, 19th of May. I also would like to once again wish that our prayers are fulfilled and accepted, because it was again a holy night last night. Today we have gathered as DEİK Talks, and we are together with you in a new and exciting program. As DEİK family, we are pleased to host our distinguished minister, Mr. Varank, Mustafa Varank, Minister of Industry and Technology, is with us. During the previous weeks, we had also hosted our Minister of Treasury, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Minister of Trade. I would first of all like to make an introductory note, and then I will leave it to our minister, and then we will continue with the Q&A session. With your permission, Mr. Minister, I would like to briefly tell you about what we have done as DEİK in this COVID-19 process. It's quite an active period for us, since from day one we have not suspended our businesses, and we also had the following slogan: we preserve and protect the health and well-being and also employment of our employees as well as our businesses. We are not suspending anything. I emphasize this quite often because we as DEİK believe that this approach is extremely important. Some were discussing whether they should close down their businesses for a long period of time, and some others were discussing whether there would be a long-term curfew. However, this epidemic has to be fought in the long run, and it is not possible to advance and to proceed by closing down everything. It could create chaos. However, with the support of our government and our state, with the support of our business world, our finance world and employees, we have not stopped the wheels of our economy. We know that the winners and champions of this new era will be the ones who give trust and confidence to the counterparts. We have had a great performance as Turkey so far. In this process, with our members, with our ambassadors, with our commercial counselors, with the counterpart entities and councils, we have held various video conferences, and we are realizing our business council meetings on a regular basis. Until now, we have realized more than 150 online meetings and webinars. And from now on, we will go step by step in this normalization period, and we as the active players of the business world, we will continue to work even harder in the upcoming period. I'd like to thank you all. I'd like to thank you, Mr. Minister, for being with us as well. The floor is yours, Mr. Minister.
Nail Bey, geliyor mu sesim şu anda?
Geliyor Sayın Bakanım, şu anda geliyor.
Evet.
Can you hear me? Yes. Thank you very much. I also would like to greet everyone. Hello. It is indeed a great pleasure to be with you all at this webinar organized by DEİK. It's indeed a great pleasure to be with you. I do hope that this is going to be a beneficial meeting or webinar for all parties concerned. As you know, we are going through unprecedented times, and many international organizations are saying that the global economy will close this year with a shrinkage of 3%. Pandemics are not foreign to our world. However, the new thing is the way that we fight against this pandemic and the policies we follow. I would like to share with you an interesting bit of information. Back in 1918, the Spanish flu, which actually was encountered all around the world, 675,000 people lost their lives in the USA. However, the US economy grew by 9% during the same year. Of course, it was thanks to the war and the war economy. However, today we are facing a brand new economic order. Neoliberal economic order is now being questioned, and we see how countries are faced with some deadlocks when it comes to the manufacturing of healthcare equipment. Macroeconomic packages are introduced. Unemployment in the US, for instance, has gone from 4% up to 14% only in a matter of a month. International supply chains are coming down. Tourism and capital flows are again coming to a halt. As mankind is fighting against this, new monetary and financial policies are introduced. As we entered into the year 2020, none of us had this on our minds as the thing that awaited during this year. We started feeling this since from the previous month. Be it the EU and other major markets that Turkey is active in, demand has come to a very low level. Of course, this had a big impact on demand. However, we clearly have to see the following fact. Turkey is doing great and is going through a successful process when compared with other counterparts and similar countries. Hopefully, this is going to be the case in the future. In this process, we are able to see how effective and functional the new presidential system in Turkey is. Since from day one, with the leadership of our president, appropriate and timely steps have been taken. We are having a holistic approach for public order and also taking appropriate steps. Economic sustainability is also ensured. When we take a look at the progress of the pandemics and as we consider the demand coming from the private sector, we did not put an end to manufacturing. Even if we had the curfew, the companies that contacted us have been given a chance to continue manufacturing. Regarding employment and social aid and also other domains, we have offered many opportunities. We have offered facilitation. More than 3 million employees have been paid 5 billion TL. This is short-term employment aid. For the ones who have not been able to benefit from that, we started a program and 878,000 plus citizens have been paid 400,000 plus TL. This is again a social aid. We, of course, will continue to consider the vulnerable communities. 5.5 million families or households have been offered financial aid as well. So 10 million households are under the social aid umbrella, and they have so far been supported with the financial aid. Our public banks have started offering loans for continuation of businesses so that enterprises are supported. Distinguished participants, one of the major indicators for growth, we are continuously monitoring that. This is capacity utilization rate for the industry, consumption of utilities and electricity. These are momentarily monitored. Our priority is to make sure that manufacturing sector recovers as soon as possible. And then we will be continuing with the positive signals coming from the real economy. Since from beginning beginning of May, electricity consumption from the industrial zones is on the rise. Automotive industry is functional, textile is recovering. When it comes to packaging and pharmaceutical businesses, they have even been strengthened throughout the pandemic, with the managers and directors of organized industrial zones. We're coming together, we're keeping contact, and I can say that real sectors' expectations are now improving. Many investors are talking about investment opportunities, and we as the ministry do our best and focus on the steps that will facilitate the process. Our industry is going to become more resilient against all shocks. We will do our best, and we will also mitigate the harm caused by such extraordinary situations, and we would like to benefit from this process as much as possible. We're going through critical times, and we have to make sure that the balance is sensitively preserved, and at the same time we have to continue with the measures at the maximum level so that we are not confronted with the second wave of the pandemic. The global indicators also showing the global indicators are showing that we have to adapt ourselves to the new normal. Our priority is to make sure that our employees' health and safety are ensured. We have to make sure that measures are taken so that everyone's well-being is preserved. Along with Turkish Standards Institute, we have prepared this guideline in order to be prepared, and we have shared the details with the public opinion. This is pertaining to the visitors, to the suppliers, as well as to the other players and stakeholders. We have drawn a sustainable and flexible framework. We would like companies and enterprises take flexible measures. We have prepared a checklist. Taking this checklist as the basis, we are going to be certifying enterprises. So when an enterprise applies us in order to get approval from our ministry, the appropriate or eligible ones will be granted a special assurance document. Just imagine, the standards have not been formed yet in the rest of the world, but we have taken this leading step and role. So come and join us in order to get assurance from Turkish Standards Institute. Yet another critical policy of this normalization process is COVID-19 tests conducted at organized industrial zones. In Gebze and in Ankara, regular tests are being performed, and I can confidently say that the number of cases is less than expected. So it is at a very low level. Istanbul, Bursa, Tekirdağ, Manisa, and Gaziantep, these are the leading industrial cities. And we will be starting with the scanning, with the screening tests, and the system is going to become functional in all organized zones and areas. Distinguished members of DEİK, as we continue with the new normalization process, we will continue focusing on the capabilities and development of capabilities. This pandemic has once again reminded us that we should be self-sufficient. So raw materials, when found or supplied from within domestically, this is a strength. We had started the industrial development program. We are supporting buyers and sellers at the same time. We also have started a program. All the relevant institutions under the umbrella of our ministry are following a holistic approach. They are looking into the application files, and I also attend some of their meetings so that I also am a part of this process. In the upcoming months, we will continue with new programs for other prioritized sectors. We will be making calls, and we will be receiving your applications, be it local, national, or international companies. As you know, companies are in search of a way of reshaping their manufacturing methodologies rather than singular system, there is going to be a multipolar system, and power balance of powers will change. So we have to focus on getting a bigger share in this. We have to make sure that supply chains are not interrupted and that we have developed capacity for managing crisis. These are some pluses that we already have. White goods, automotive business, and defense industry. These are the prioritized industries, but we'd like to extend this further on. In the new era, Turkey is comfortably going to become one of the centers for supply chain. We will shape our roadmap together with you, and we will have active business diplomacy and industrial diplomacy. We are always with our industrialists, providing full support. The ones who focus on employment, ones that focus on investment. We will always be with you. At this very point, our expectation from you is to feel ownership of your suppliers and adopt yourselves to the digital transformation. Please support the SMEs that you work with. When demand is on the rise, and their power will empower you further on. Innovative way of doing business will be helpful as well. We have to benefit from the startups as well. So startups are brilliant entrepreneurs. So if you do business with them, you will become more competitive, more innovative, and you will have new business models. Finally, I would like to refer to investment in digitization. I'd like to strongly recommend that you invest in digitization, because this is going to help you adopt yourselves to technological transformation in manufacturing, in supply, in sales. Digital opportunities have to be benefited from, so that when we have similar pandemics, our enterprises will be more resilient. At this point, we as the ministry would like to facilitate access to digital technologies and enhancement of access to smart technologies. Companies and enterprises are offered opportunities such as financial support and grants in order to become a part of the digital transformation. We are going through unprecedented times. We would like to make sure that opportunities are used and benefited. Hopefully, we will do that. We have a strong ministerial cabinet, and we are following strong policies. We will continue supporting you and being in close contact with you. I'd like to extend my thanks to DEİK for organizing this webinar. Would like to thank you all for your participation. Would like to wish you all a great Ramadan. Distinguished Minister, I'd like to thank you for your support and also for your contribution. And we as DEİK will continue to work even harder in order to support our business world. So I'd like to turn to our Business Council presidents and participants. If they have any questions, we'd like to receive their questions. With your permission, Mr. Minister, I'd like to start with my initial question for the industry and technology.
Since 1985, we have been pursuing business opportunities throughout the world by embracing this motto: more trade. Everything began with these two words. It was then that the Turkish private sector united to adopt a joint vision, and I was given my name. Well, who am I? I am a business platform that is empowered by my founding institutions, business councils, counterpart organizations, and members pursuing business opportunities all around the world, uniting all of my stakeholders. I am DEİK. DEİK has become the locomotive organization of our private sector. 2019, Recep Tayyip Erdoğan. Well, what do I do? exports, imports, inward and outward investments, manufacturing, and so much more. I establish new bonds and relations through business forums, B2B meetings, roundtable meetings, conferences, panel discussions, and summits across the world. I have been vigorously striving to strengthen the dynamics of the economy, steering the world's wind of change, and enhancing interactions within the private sector. Hence, I generate major contributions to my members and to the private sector with the mission I carry. I reunite Turkish business people living all around the world under a common objective. With each passing day, people, countries, and even the continents come closer. The balances of international trade are rapidly changing, while the world economy is also being reshaped. I am not trying to keep pace with this change. I am steering this change because I consider trade not as an instrument of war, but as a tool of developing societies, glamorizing the world, and contributing to the advancement of technologies that preserve and protect nature. Therefore, I am Turkey's global horizon. I am carrying Turkey's strength to the world. Now it is time to act together. I want to make business with you through my 146 business councils. I am a business platform empowered by my members. Because our mission is business diplomacy.